Hi everyone, welcome to 40K on Point, the channel that quantify Warhammer 40K. This video describes the elite vehicle for the Space Marine, and it is using our predefined methodology. If you want to know more about the methodology that are used in this video, please follow the link in the description. The unit that will be analyzed in this video are the Contemptor Dreadnought, the Dreadnought, the Invictor Tactical Warsuit, the Ironclad Dreadnought, Redemptor Dreadnought, and Venerable Dreadnought. So the first unit we're going to analyze is the Contemptor Dreadnought. For 150 points, you are getting one model armed with a combi bolter, multi-melta, and Dreadnought close combat weapon. The multi-melta is an excellent weapon in this edition. AV2, strength 8, AP -4, damage D6 with an half range D6 plus 2 damage. The particularities of the Contemptor Dreadnought is that it's having an 8-inch movement, so it's a bit faster. And its close combat capacity, it has 4 attacks of strength 14, AP -3, damage 3. The defensively for 150 points, you are getting 9 wounds of toughness 7 and a save 3+, but also a 5++ invulnerable save. So overall, the Contemptor Dreadnought performed very well in our metrics, reaching a score of 136%. It is a dedicated anti-tank shooting platform and a dedicated anti-tank melee platform. Its anti-personnel capacity are more limited. It is a solid unit with a good fortitude score, so it is very resistant per point, and overall its offensive capacity is a bit better than its defensive cost. So that makes a unit that is definitely worth its point. Next we have the Dreadnought. So for 125 points, you are getting one model armed with the multi-melta, storm bolter, and Dreadnought close combat weapon. It has 6 inches of movement, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+. It has on the melee side 4 attacks of strength 12, AP -3, damage 3. On the defensive perspective, for 125 points, you are getting 8 wounds of toughness 7 and a save 3+. Also, the unit, like all Dreadnought, is having duty eternal that allows to subtract 1 to damage done to the model. The Dreadnought performed extremely well in our metrics, reaching an overall value of 155%. Just like the Contemptor Dreadnought, it is a dedicated anti-tank unit, both in shooting and melee. However, per point, the normal Dreadnought is more efficient than the Contemptor Dreadnought on those aspects. It is also a solid unit, and overall its offensive capacity is much better than its defensive costs. So definitely the Dreadnought is a good option for Space Marine players. Next we have the Invictor Tactical Warsuit. So for 160 points, you are getting one model armed with the Fragstorm grenade launcher, heavy bolter, the twin Iron Ale autocannon, 2 Iron Ale heavy stubber, and the Invictor Fist. The unit is quite fast with 10 inches of movement. It has also concealed position, so it can be deployed further in the deployment phase. And it's having weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+. When it comes to close combat, the unit is having 4 attacks of strength 14, AP -3, and damage 3. On the defensive side, 160 points buys you 13 wounds of toughness 6 and a save 3+. That turns out to be an amazingly good unit, reaching a sky blue score of 224%. It has an amazing mobility, thanks to its speed and its ability to concealed position. And it is very solid with a fortitude score of 7.78, so very resistant unit. The unit also is a very versatile damage output, close to a 3-star anti-tank shooting. It has a 3-star anti-tank melee capacity, 3-star anti-personal shooting capacity. The only element in which it's lacking, it's in melee against large infantry, but because it's a vehicle, it can also shoot when it will be in close combat. So its anti-personal shooting capacity cover on that aspect. So overall, that makes a unit that its offensive out capacity is more than twice the defensive cost. So it makes a unit that is extremely worth and very, very good value for Space Marine players. Next, we have the Ironclad Dreadnought. So for 140 points, you are getting one model armed with Meltagon, Storm Bolter, Hurricane Bolter, and a Dreadnought Chain Fist. So it has a very standard Dreadnought stat line, except on some aspect like its toughness. So when it comes to melee, which is the strong point of that unit, you are getting 4 attacks of strength 12, AP minus 2, and its damage is 2d3. But when it comes to vehicle, it has a damage characteristic of 6. So the Dreadnought Chained Fist is hitting like a knight. So very, very strong weapon. And defensively, 140 points buys you 8 wounds of toughness 8 and a save 3+. It has duty eternal like other Dreadnought. The Ironclad Dreadnought performed extremely well in our metrics, reaching a sky blue score of 193%. So it has some shooting capacity with its Storm Bolter and Hurricane Bolter, but what makes that unit exceptional is that for its point, its anti-tank melee capacity is among the best in the game. It is way above the norm. It is 4 times the capacity per point than a dedicated anti-tank unit. So it is extremely good, and that brings the unit to a very high damage output per point for that reason. And its defensive score is almost normal. The standard is 10. So that makes a unit that, because of its anti-tank melee capacity, has exceptional score, and that brings a unit that is very, very interesting. If you need anti-tank melee capacity, the Ironclad Dreadnought is the best choice probably in the game. Next, we have the Redemptor Dreadnought. So for 180 points, you are getting one model equipped with 2 Frag Storm Grenade Launcher, Onslaught Gatling Cannon, Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon, and the Redemptor Fist. So the unit is having an 8-inch of movement, and it has the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon is 30-inch, Heavy 12, Strength 6, AP minus 1. The Onslaught Gatling Cannon is Heavy 8, Strength 5, AP minus 1. The Redemptor Fist gives 4 attacks of Strength 14, AP minus 3, and its damage is D3 plus 3. Defensively, the Redemptor Dreadnought for 180 points, you are getting 13 wounds, toughness 7, and a save 3+, and like other Dreadnought, it has duty eternal. Overall, the Redemptor Dreadnought reached an excellent score in our metrics of 198%, giving a sky blue level. What makes the strength of that unit is its very good anti-tank melee capacity because of its Redemptor Fist. Also, it's good anti-personal shooting capacity because of the Gatling cannon, and it's very low defensive cost. Its fortitude score is better than average, so it makes a unit that has almost twice the offensive output than its defensive cost. So that makes a unit that is definitely worth its point. Next, we have the Venerable Dreadnought. So for 140 points, you are getting one model armed with a multi-melta, a Stormbolter, and a Dreadnought close combat weapon. The difference between a Dreadnought and a Venerable Dreadnought is its weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, and it has also the unyieldly ancient, which is a feel no pain 6+. So the rest is very similar to the Dreadnought. So overall, the Venerable Dreadnought appears to be a bit better than the normal Dreadnought per point, reaching overall value of 173%. So it gives a very good score, close to Sky Blue, and it is dedicated anti-tank shooting capacity, even if it costs more per point. Because of its ballistic skill 2+, it comes very similar, and a very dedicated anti-tank melee unit also, a bit better, again because of its weapon skill 2+. Its fortitude score is very similar because of its feel no pain. So even if it's increasing the cost, you are getting options, and overall the Venerable Dreadnought is a better choice than the normal Dreadnought. So there's a lot of very competitive options for Space Marine player in its elite vehicle element. The Invictor Tactical Warsuit, the Ironclad, and the Redemptor Dreadnought are all exceptionally good unit, but the Dreadnought and Venerable Dreadnought are also very, very, very strong choices. So I think you will find a lot of armies in competition armed with Dreadnought and Tactical Warsuit. For a quick analysis, if we take the Dreadnoughts and we add on just a simple force multiplier of a Techmarine with its Master Forge and the Warden of the Ancient Warlord trait, which allows to increase by 1 the attacks and the strength, it brings the Dreadnought to a 211%, so a competitive level. 200% is the benchmark to determine if the unit can be competitive. The Ironclad Dreadnought goes with the same force multiplier to 262%, the Redemptor to 298%, and the Venerable Dreadnought to 211%. So consider also that you can add other force multiplier coming from auras or stratagems that can affect core unit, because the Dreadnought are core units. Also the Psychic Fortress Psychic Warp power is also aura that gives a 5++ invulnerable save to units that are within 6 inch. And also the chapters, which gives a good force multiplier. I think Iron Hands are very good for the Dreadnoughts. And that would bring those unit to the 300, 400, maybe 500 percent for the Redemptor Dreadnought. So a very, very, very strong possibility for Space Marine player. I think you'll find a lot of competitive lists that will have a lot of Dreadnought. The Invictor Tactical Warsuit is not a Dreadnought. It's not a core unit neither, so it's more limited what you can bring as a force multiplier for that unit. If you take the Iron Hands with the Blessing of the Machine Gun Technomancy power, which increased by 1 its ability to hit, it brings the unit to a score of 328%. So it brings something interesting for the Invictor Tactical Warsuit. So this video described the elite vehicle for the Space Marine using our normalized metrics. Please feel free to comment on how to increase the efficiency of those units. Also, subscribe if you like this kind of content. I will upload all the units of 40K using exactly the same method. Also, please check my other videos. It can be helpful for you for assessing the capabilities of your opponent when you are playing. So thank you for watching. Over and out.